first introduction of that was when it was in pet shops in Sydney in the trade, and as soon as I seen it, although, you know, I must have had very limited knowledge then, I knew I never knew it, and I'd seen a few. This was unusual. So that was very interesting, and a couple of other friends that I knew were good turtle men. They had never had a clue what it was. Never realised how different it was. I never dreamt that it was a new genus. You know.
It wasn't until 1994 that the identity of the Mary River turtle was finally confirmed.
The first ones I'd seen was nesting, not nesting, basking.
Oh yes.
And I got some video footage of that. I had a video of me and the wife, and I made a hide up so I could get down and get some footage of it, you know. And I laugh at it because Helen was probably more excited than I was to see these Mary River turtles on the log. Oh well, it's on the eastern side, a couple of 100 yards down. It was there for a lot of big storms.
Because the mystery of the Mary River turtle lasted so many years, it was given the scientific name Elusor macrurus, meaning elusive one with a long tail. But there are many creatures who love to feast on turtle eggs. Goannas search the nesting banks for whole clutches of eggs to dig up, while the introduced European red fox also loves to snack on unhatched offspring. And uncontrolled domestic dogs pose a similar threat. To increase the chances of turtle hatching success in the wild, Tiaro Landcare volunteers have been constructing specially designed fences to reduce predation of the turtle nests. And because this doesn't stop the goannas swimming across the river, individual nests are protected with mesh to increase the survival rate.
A low and a medium electric hot tape, so then that'll help hit the goannas and the dogs and the cattle, and then we leave the top of the mesh a bit floppy in between, so that it doesn't give stability to any animals. And last year we had a goanna caught inside the fence, and it just wasn't game to climb up. It was really interesting. It just kept crawling along the base of the mesh, and just having a go, but wasn't going to actually climb up it. So unfortunately I think he swam over from the other side of the river, and we can't stop that.
Yeah, well, trial even comes in handy.
But it's coming. Hang on. We've got some action. Yeah, we got some action.
Something's good on the side of him.
Oh, that's good.
Beautiful. Made him a little bit hard to get out.
Since members of Tiaro Landcare started this practice, over 2,400 hatchlings have successfully emerged from their nests in the wild. These tiny hatchlings are about 4 centimetres long and similar in weight to a teaspoon of sugar. The struggle to dig their way out of the nesting chamber is just the beginning, as the challenges of surviving in the river await them. The Mary River turtle is at high risk of extinction, which is why there's an urgent need for research into every aspect of its biology. PhD candidate Mariana Campbell is based at the University of Queensland. Her research includes investigating the impacts of incubation temperature on the behaviour and performance of the hatchlings. It was discovered that those incubated at 3 degrees Celsius above the average were smaller, weaker and had lower growth rates. This is a worrying sign if nesting bank temperatures rise through climate change. Her work isn't restricted to the lab, and she and her fellow researchers often visit the Mary River to track the movement patterns and habitat preferences of the young turtles. For this part of the work, electronic devices are attached to the little turtle's shells. These tags transmit acoustic pulses, and to record these, divers place special listening stations on the riverbed. One of the juvenile turtles was recorded over 2 kilometres downstream from where it was released. Another researcher from the University of Queensland, Natalie Matthey, was fascinated as to why these turtles would want to absorb oxygen from the water through gills, just like fish. From her experiment, she discovered that Mary River turtle hatchlings can stay submerged for 2.5 days without coming to the surface to breathe. To obtain oxygen from the air, it must leave its hiding place amongst the logs, rocks and reeds and swim up through the water column, where it could be eaten by a fish or an eel. And then at the surface, birds are a threat. So it is really important for their survival that hatchling turtles can stay underwater for as long as possible. Part of Natalie and Mariana's research is funded by a scholarship set up in 2004 by Tiaro Landcare, a grant which encourages new studies on the Mary River turtle. This fund is supported through the sale of handmade chocolate turtles, which have proved to be extremely popular. Since 1999, over 250,000 of them have been snapped up.
I think I have the white ones.
Yeah, they're good.
And other Landcare activities include the publication of a booklet and the creation of a website dedicating to spreading turtle news. The Mary River turtle is one of the most unique river turtles in the world. But without concentrated efforts to preserve this species and its habitat, it may disappear for good. Their future is in our hands.